Yelawolf, welcome to Maine.
Thank you.
Do you want this microphone?
Oh, sure.
Only if you want it. You can do whatever you want.
To the mic.
And if you don't participate, it's okay. But any interest in the devil's lettuce in your life?
Oh, you're talking about weed?
I am talking about marijuana because we brought you a gift from the Farm Stand House of Hash, and it's filled with all sorts of goodies for you to partake in.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Welcome to Maine.
House of Hash.
That's it.
So it is fully legal here, huh?
It's fully legal here. Yes. What a time to be alive.
It's amazing.
You are here for Sold Out Hot Show 26, and you mentioned it might be your first time in Maine. Not sure.
Yeah, no, it's my first Yelawolf show.
Yes.
Yeah, so, but I've been here first coming out, like, right after Trump music. I think I was here with Wiz Khalifa.
It's a blur.
I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure that we were here, and I may or may have not been arrested.
Fair enough. What happens in Maine stays in Maine. That's
actually, it did stay in Maine because I went to Toronto. We went to Canada next day. So I went to jail, and because some rowdy fan decided they wanted to spit on me from the front row. So I Axl Rosed them and dove on him, and I looked to the left, and there's a police officer going,
"Oops!"
Cuffs. He gave me the signal for the cuffs.
Yeah.
They were actually super cool because he kind of felt bad, but he had to do it.
Right.
He was like, "Man, I'm sorry, but I cannot. You got to go down." But they were super cool. They took me down, and I made bail, and then we drove up to the border, and then the first thing they asked me is, "Have you had any run-ins with police lately?" And I was like, "No, ma'am.
Absolutely not.
No, ma'am. I had just left jail."
That is such a testament to what a place Maine is right there, Yellow.
Man, I love this city, honestly. Like, this is my first time also, like, getting out and exploring.
Yes. What'd you explore? What'd you see?
So I walked around the whole city. I went to Little Ghost vintage clothing store.
Nice.
Came up on some really rad pieces.
Decent.
Yeah, and man, just like soaked up the vibe of the city. Went to a skate shop that I think is called My Ocean.
Yep.
Where Jasper, I met Jasper, the owner of that skate shop.
Shout out Jasper.
But along the way, good coffee spots, good food. So I walked around for about 3 hours by myself today, just kind of soaking it up.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's fucking humid, by the way. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. In Alabama, like, I'm used to it in Alabama, but I didn't know it happened this far up north like that.
It's a special day today, too. It's like extra wet and sticky. And yeah, maybe you brought the heat.
Yeah.
You brought the South up to me.
I brought sticky.
Someone had to.
Someone had to bring sticky.
You brought your sticky and I brought my friend. Exactly. Now, for those who may have never seen you perform live before, what can a crowd expect from your performance tonight?
Well, me and my DJ Clever have been working on a show for a long time. We pride ourselves on like MC DJ performance. Mm-hmm. It's hip hop with rock and roll energy, basically. So we just go out and have fun and just try to put on a rowdy, fun show.
Yes.
There's no show that's ever been the same. I will say that. So I feed off the crowd.
Yes.
I'm very, very like in tune with the crowd. So whatever they bring, I'm going to push it back tenfold.
Yes, you match that energy 100%. Now, just a week ago, you dropped your 2-disc album, War Story. Can you talk a bit about the process of putting this thing together? Because that's a thick album.
Yeah. So I did the first album in Los Angeles with Malay. I wrote the whole thing, and I actually was camped out at Sunset Marquee for the entire time I was there to write this record. I wrote the whole record at that hotel, actually. And I actually wrote the record with no music. It was like Malay would just hit me up and kind of give me a gist of what he thought the tempo should be that day. And so I wrote the record without music.
Wow.
So every day my session would start at 2:00. I'd go in and record, and by 6 o'clock we were done, and we just knocked records out back to back to back. I don't think we had any throwaways. Like, everything that we recorded, we were confident in. And it had been years since I worked with Malay. I did Love Story with Malay and Willpower. And even before that, I did a project called Arena Rap with Malay. That was like 6 years before Trump music, before Pop the Trump. So it's good to like come back and do record, like seeing the vision through, so to speak, like being free, like independent, and like I can make any music I want. There's no one to answer to, and put it out when we want to put it out, all those things. So I brought that record back to Nashville, Tennessee, and played it for Willpower. And at first I wanted to do a single album and let the two producers intertwine throughout the record. But after we went to Atlanta and did Trump Music Forever, it was just clear that they didn't hold the same space back-to-back track.
Sure.
So it was just like, man, this is a double album. They're just two different vibes.
Yes.
And I thought it best to put it out all together because it was the same two producers that worked on Love Story.
That makes total sense.
So, yeah, so here we are. The record's doing great, and people seem to be really receptive of it. So I'm just excited. I'm excited that it's getting heard.
Absolutely. Your fans
for a year and a half.
I can't even imagine sitting on something for that long and just having it out in the world now must feel so nice.
Definitely, yeah. It takes a lot of patience. I mean, and the way that people produce and release music as fast as they do these days, you feel like a novelty a lot of times, but I think there's always something to be said about a body of work, like a full project. And, the music's been recorded for, I think, like literally a year, but it's everything. It's the setup. It's going out in Los Angeles with my crew and wheat pasting around Sunset and setting up the billboards in Australia and New Zealand and Canada and Paris, and making sure that there's a street presence there, and because we're still moved by like tangible advertisement. We think it's so dope. You know what I mean? Like a poster on the wall just means so much more to me than getting a notification on my phone.
100%.
It means more to me, and I think it means more to the fans too. So we're heavy in the streets with this project, so it's exciting. It's war story time, baby.
Definitely so exciting. And 25 songs on this bad boy. I'm curious, is there any one song in particular that you're proudest of?
It changes. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say that there's one song that I'm more proud of than the next. Yeah. But there are songs that catch waves with where I'm at mentally, how I'm feeling.
Totally. What is it today?
Today's probably Marijuana. Yeah. Marijuana's been, and it's not, yeah. Speaking of.
I'm like, do you dabble?
I did not do that on purpose. That's literally just, we were singing it. J. Michael Phillips, actually, right before we left. A nice shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
Smile Gang.
Yeah.
Shout out Smile Gang.
Absolutely.
Slumerican.
Period.
Family. J. Michael Phillips, he's been traveling around with us and, just, sticking around and soaking everything up. By the way, he's got some amazing music about to come out.
Oh, can't wait to see him open tonight.
Yeah, we've got a lot of new artists that are coming around the camp and putting out amazing music. That's another part that I'm really excited about. J. Michael's up next for sure.
I'm so happy you said that, Yelawolf, because that was my segue.
Oh,
Slumerican, please proceed. Take it away. Tell us about him.
Well, we've for years, just like I've really set out to find, artists that to create versatility within the family. I didn't want to sign rappers that, like, I just made it so hard for a rapper, it's like you're just, it's like, there's the bar is so high, and I'm not saying that I will not sign an MC, but they've got to follow up and, in my footsteps, and so it's J. Michael Phillips, and he has his own very unique style. Cowboy Killer with his own very unique style, and he's coming up as an MC as well. But the second record that I dropped after War Story under Slumerican was Tony Martinez, Crazy, and that's like country rock and roll. I'm featured on that record. It's so if you're like following me, it's at Yelawolf, YELAWOLF. You can check out Tony's record and all our records off of my main page and my stories. But yeah, we're just been in the studio making music for a long time. And now it's just kind of serendipitous that it all kind of flooded into 2024. And we're starting to drop it all. It's good to have like partners.
Yes. Yes.
To have friends and other artists that are with you along the ride. And it just feels so good, being a more experienced artist to help, the next generation and the next artists come up. Make it easy for them. I tell them like, look, man, it's like I built a perfect basketball court to come practice. You don't have to shoot balls through a square hoop anymore.
Yeah, I love that.
Like I got you. You can come train up under the best circumstances possible and become the best player possible, because I've already weeded out all those problems.
Yep.
Weatherproof, gym, 365, 24/7.
There it is.
Get your weight up. Hit the gym.
You're hysterical. Now, you have a really diehard fan base, and I think that is so cool, especially with this show, selling out so quickly. I'm wondering, do you have any fan interaction stories that really stick out to you?
Yeah, man. I've had fans come and go, and that's moved me more than anything. My homeboy Pop passed away from COVID. He was one of my longest and dearest friends, and I met him through him being a fan, and he ended up being my left-hand man on Devil's Pass, like riding on our bike tours and doing all that. And him and his sister, rest in peace, they both passed. We've had a few of our fans, close fans in Paris that died tragically at the Eagles of Death Metal show when I got bombed, and those things really sit with me deep. Or I've got fans with maybe children that are going through cancer treatment, and so more than anything, that kind of sets with me. You know what I mean? It sticks with me. I love all my fans, but I'm especially moved by someone who's moved by my music that are going through something that's really hard.
Really?
But sometimes I really don't know, like, for a fan to come up to me, and I'll say this humbly, but for a fan to say, "Oh, your music changed my life," and they may be getting emotional. I have to be honest. I think a lot. What song? What is it? Was it Pop the Trunk? Did that change your life? Was it Daddy's Lambo? I mean, what was it? But their core and through my discography, there are records that are heavy, and you never know what a fan attaches themselves to. You have no clue. It could be Empty Bottles. It could be Have a Great Flight. It could be one of my slower records that really attached them to me as an artist. Whatever song it is, I'm grateful.
Absolutely. That's amazing. And that's probably why you built such a dedicated fan base. Not only do you connect with them, but you clearly remember their stories and are paying attention and listening to them. I think a lot of people need that.
I've met thousands upon thousands upon thousands of fans with meet and greets. The stories, you start when you're standing there at the table or wherever you are signing autographs and meeting fans and taking photos. The stories can be so heavy, and you start to feel it pulls something out of you. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I don't know. You kind of feel like you're like a priest or something. Like you're just running this church, and people need to come through and like vent.
Yes.
But that's what I signed up for. I didn't know that I signed up for that. So I didn't like particularly set out for that, but that's my reality. So I accept it, and I'm enjoying every moment. And to be here now with a double album, independent, after such a long career, it's a blessing.
Absolutely. I think maybe too, a lot of people connect with you, or at least something I really respect about you is you didn't start from this. You built this yourself. You have lived on the streets. You have really grinded for so many years and have worked for this moment. What advice would you give to yourself maybe 20 years ago when you first started this whole thing?
That's a great question. If I could go back like Ghost of Christmas Past style, you mean? Like,
Ebenezer Scrooge.
like show myself, myself in the future. First thing I would say would be like, hey man, throw on some cowboy boots and skinnies and you'll kill it.
Love it. Let's just start that now.
I'll be like, let's start with the fashion, homie.
Yes.
I'm saying, like, put the Jordans up for a while. You know what I'm saying? Throw a full brim hat on, leather jacket, some skinnies, boots. You know, don't put your face on a cover of any of your albums in the near future. You know, be more of an artist. Grow your beard out, get weird, get comfortable with who you are, and you know, let loose. That's what that I would say to myself. It took a long time to get to that point. You know, like, yeah, you know, I do feel like I have an original sound because of my influences. Being from Alabama, you know, there was country music there was classic rock there was hip hop there, and cultivated into this sound that is my sound. But it took a long time to put that together visually as well, you know. And when I finally cut the strings on trying to be accepted, so to speak, so Trump music era was like, all right, I'm gonna throw on Jordans, I'm cutting my mullet mohawk, you know, and that's more of a street fashion thing, trying to line up with 808s and shit. And when it got to Love Story, it was like, I'm bringing everything in, everything, you know, like fearless about not just the music that's coming out internally, but what I look like externally as well. So that's what I would tell myself, just to cut the strings, man, and just lose it in front of, you know, lose it.
Just be yourself. Just lose it. Just lose it.
Lose your mind.
Now,
and that's okay.
That's okay. It's encouraged, clearly. Now that War Story is out in the world, what is next for you, Yelawolf?
Don't do that.
This bag.
It's only been a few days, okay? Like, listen, let me live in War Story for a while. Like,
all right.
I'm gonna live in this album for at least a year.
Good for you.
And if I want to dial into something else during that time, you know, we'll see. Yeah. But honestly, a lot of times I feel like I don't put enough into a project that deserves it. This time, I'm putting everything into War Story, and I'm gonna take my time and make sure that it deserves life. It deserves, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Water it, sunlight, take care of it, and, you know, let people discover it.
Yes.
By any means necessary. So I appreciate you guys.
Yes, we appreciate you. And the album is incredible for anyone who hasn't listened to it yet. It's so fun. And like you said, each disc is kind of like a different vibe. And
I like how you say disc.
Disc. You know, even on Spotify.
Double
it
disc.
Says disc 1.
Does it?
2.
It says disc.
It does. And I still listen to CDs in my car, okay?
You know what? Let's go.
You know what? I'm old school, so.
You still buy CDs in a jewel case?
Oh my God. Jewel case. I used to burn
Plastic.
CDs in the jewel cases. I would have stacks and stacks. Yes. We're still repping the jewel cases in 2024. Now, last but certainly not least, here in Maine, our state motto is the way life should be. So I want to know, according to Yelawolf, what is the way life should be?
Man, laugh a lot, drink a lot, eat good, worry less, explore more. You know, don't be afraid of money. Scared money don't make money. Get out there and hustle. If you want to treat yourself, treat yourself. Treat your family right.
Yeah.
And love the people around you that love you the most. Show it back, you know, because in a like that, they're gone forever. So you love somebody, tell them you love them. And that's it, man. You know, do what's on your heart. Follow your heart's passion. That's it.
Perfect. That's perfect. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. I can't wait.
Thank you for having me.
The stage, Yelawolf.
Yeah, we're gonna kill it.
Yeah.
Now it's time to fuck shit up.
Now time to fuck it up.